My name is Rob Scratchley. I'm the Senior Manager of Planning for both Virgin Atlantic and Virgin Holidays. And one of the things I've got involved with recently is the planning of the ground resources at Heathrow, which is one of the reasons I'm at the conference here today. I work for Virgin Atlantic, which is obviously an airline owned by Richard Branson. I think it's about 33 years old. I've been with the organisation for about 18 months, but I was also with them for a short while before that as well. Well, basically we're looking at better ways of scheduling the ground staff and driving optimisation of those resources through the use of the tool. So specifically at Terminal 3 at Heathrow, right from the point that the passengers enter the terminal to check themselves in and their bags, right through to the process of, including greeting of the passenger, checking them in, right through to the process of actually then boarding the craft at the gate. Previously it was a very manual task full of opportunities to improve optimisation. And so we were looking for a tool to help us automate that and actually just use a more efficient way of using those staff, but also maintaining the engagement and happiness of those people as well. You know, we're Virgin Atlantic. We consider ourselves to be a premium brand, and we don't want passengers having to wait and queue to check in at the airport. We don't want them having a long process, regardless of the class of travel that they've decided to book. So if we can optimise our staff better, then the impact of the passengers is obviously a very positive one, because they will have a quicker and more seamless transition through the airport before they board the aircraft to go on their destination. Well, it allows us to look at the number of passengers that we fly, when they generally arrive at the airport to get their flight, and how long it takes them to go through the process. But we also have self-service bag drops at Heathrow, so we need to have people that are available to support customers that want to check their own bags in. And not all passengers can use the self-service bag drop, so we have to consider that as well. So now the main tool that the team use is the Quintiq solution. So they're using it on a daily basis to look at the ways that we schedule the staff, but also look at the ways to optimise that. We are keen to maintain a really good engagement of our people and make sure they're happy at work. So it's taken into account that their work preferences can be built into the tool to make sure that they're happy to come into work every day. It's not just a case of the passenger arriving at the airport, checking in. We have greet staff, we have different times that our planes depart and arrive. So it's not kind of flat through the day. Some destinations require visas, which means that the customer can't check in at the bag drop, so we have to take that into account. So there's different profiles of the number of people that we need to make sure are available for different flights, which means at different times of the day, different times of the week, and also different times of the year. Obviously, a lot of leisure passengers will fly at different times of the year versus others, where business is more flat. So we have to take that into account as well. So it's kind of on-the-day planning, but it's also the strategic planning, weeks, months, and years out, taking into account our expected volume of passengers that will fly. We work in an airline, so there are disruptions that are caused by all sorts of reasons, weather, for example, and we have to be able to react very fast to those changes. And we need the software to be able to optimise what our people are doing, but also taking into account, logistical things. So if you schedule somebody to work as a check-in greeter, you don't want to then schedule them to be on the gate, which is having to make them go through security and walk quite a long distance. So it's making sure that we can optimise them sensibly and in a way that will make our people happy. They can do what they need to do when they need to do it. And that we don't end up with periods of kind of wasted resource and other periods where we just simply don't have enough people and are spending money on overtime that we wouldn't need to if we could optimise those people more effectively. If there are different seasonal peaks, then we need to make sure that that is reflected in all of the roles that people do. Check-in staff and greet staff and the staff that board the customers onto the planes are the same people, so they can be scheduled to do those different activities. So, effective use of optimisation tools mean that we can adapt what those people are doing at very short notice, but also give them that kind of self-serve automation so that they can see using the app what they're doing when they're doing it, but they can also use the app to book their time off and swap their shifts with other people if they want to as well, which is a great engagement tool for us. all airlines will have this, different challenges. It was very interesting because we heard from a US airline earlier today, and in the US it's very different than the UK and Europe because in the US airlines will generally have a terminal dedicated to them, or at least a certain amount of check-in. So they have the ability to basically decide how many people they want. Now, we only have a limited amount of check-in desks, for example, so if our passenger numbers go up or go down, it's much harder for us to flex that resource, the physical space in the airport. So it's using the optimization tool in a way that suits both driving efficiency but also keeping our people happy. And I think for us, that's the next stage, because at the moment there is still a lot of manual intervention into the optimization process, and really we want to be in a position where we can do that really, really quickly, easily but effectively, and also communicate it out to the staff very, very quickly too. That is the next stage for us.